I remember that day so vividly, like it was just yesterday. It was a day that changed everything for me. I was Larissa Williams, a mid-aged woman, living a life that felt, well, ordinary. I had my routines, my family, my job, and my faith. But sometimes life throws you a curveball that makes you stop and think. And for me, that curveball came in the form of a near-death experience. It all started when I collapsed at work. One moment I was typing away at my desk, and the next, everything went dark. I felt this strange sensation, like I was floating, and then, suddenly, I was in a place that was beyond anything I could ever imagine. It was bright, warm, and filled with a sense of peace that I had never felt before. And then, there he was, Jesus. I can't even begin to describe the feeling of being in his presence. It was like being wrapped in a warm blanket on a cold winter night. He looked at me with such love and understanding, and I felt like I was home. I remember asking him, "Where am I?" And he smiled gently, saying, "You are in the third heaven, Larissa." I was confused. I had heard about heaven, of course, but the third heaven? What did that even mean? Jesus, sensing my confusion, began to explain. The third heaven is a place of ultimate peace and joy, a realm where the presence of God is fully realized. It's a place where souls come to rest, to heal, and to be in communion with the divine. It's not just a destination, it's a state of being. I listened intently, my heart racing with excitement and curiosity. But Jesus, is it possible for us, for humans, to reach this third heaven? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. He nodded, his eyes sparkling with compassion. Yes, Larissa, it is possible, but it requires a journey of the heart, a deep connection with God, and a willingness to let go of the things that hold you back. He continued, many Christians today are caught up in the distractions of the world. They focus on material things, on status, on what others think of them. They forget the essence of love, compassion, and humility that I taught. The path to the third heaven is not paved with riches or fame. It's paved with love and service to others. I felt a wave of understanding wash over me. It was true. I had seen it in my own life and in the lives of those around me. We often get so caught up in our daily struggles that we forget to look up, to connect with the divine. But what about the dark forces, Jesus? What about the Antichrist? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. His expression grew serious. Ah, yes. The dark forces are very real. They thrive on fear, division, and hatred. They seek to pull you away from the light, to distract you from your true purpose. The Antichrist is not just a figure. It's a spirit that exists in the world, manifesting in ways that lead people astray. It's important to recognize these forces and to stand firm in your faith. I felt a chill run down my spine. The thought of dark forces lurking around us was unsettling. How do we protect ourselves from them? I asked, desperate for guidance. Jesus smiled again, that warm, reassuring smile. By staying close to God, by nurturing your spirit through prayer, meditation, and acts of kindness. Surround yourself with love and light, and you will find the strength to resist the darkness. As he spoke, I felt a sense of empowerment growing within me. I realized that I had the power to choose love over fear, light over darkness. But what if I fail? I asked, my voice trembling. What if I fall into the traps of the world? He reached out and took my hand, and in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Larissa, it's okay to stumble. What matters is that you get back up, that you keep striving for the light. Remember, I am always with you, guiding you, loving you. You are never alone. Tears filled my eyes as I absorbed his words. I felt a deep sense of gratitude for this moment, for this experience. Thank you, Jesus, I whispered, my heart swelling with emotion. Thank you for showing me the way. He nodded, and I could see the love radiating from him. Now, go back to your life, Larissa. Share what you have learned. Help others to see the light, to understand the importance of love and connection with God. The world needs more light bearers, more people willing to stand against the darkness. I felt a surge of determination. I wanted to be that light bearer. I wanted to share this experience, to help others understand the beauty of the third heaven and the importance of nurturing their relationship with God. But how do I start? I asked, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. Start with your heart, Jesus replied, his voice gentle yet firm. Open yourself to love and compassion. Reach out to those around you, listen to their struggles, and offer your support. Sometimes the simplest acts of kindness can have the most profound impact. Remember, it's not about grand gestures, it's about the little things that come from a genuine place of love. I nodded, feeling inspired. I can do that. I can be there for my family, my friends, and even strangers. I want to help them see the light, just like you showed me. Exactly, he said, a smile spreading across his face. And don't forget to take care of your own spirit. Spend time in prayer, meditate on my words, and seek the beauty in the world around you. The more you fill your heart with love, the more you will be able to share it with others. As he spoke, I felt a warmth enveloping me, a sense of purpose igniting within. I promise, Jesus, I will do my best to live this out. I want to be a reflection of your love. Good, he said, his eyes shining with approval. And remember, it's a journey. There will be ups and downs, moments of doubt and fear. But through it all, hold on to your faith. Trust in the goodness of God and the power of love. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his words settle in my heart. I will, Jesus. I will trust and I will love. Now it's time for you to return, he said softly. Your life is waiting for you, and there are many who need your light. As he spoke, I felt a pull, a gentle tugging at my being. I didn't want to leave this beautiful place, this warmth, this love. Will I see you again? I asked, my voice trembling with emotion. Always, Larissa. I am with you in every moment, in every breath. Just look for me in your heart, and you will find me. With that, the brightness around me began to fade, and I felt myself being drawn back to my body. I could hear the sounds of the world returning, the beeping of machines, the murmurs of voices. I opened my eyes, and there I was, back in the hospital room, surrounded by concerned faces. But I felt different. I felt changed. I had a mission now, a purpose that burned brightly within me. I knew that I had to share what I had learned, to be a beacon of hope and love in a world that often felt dark and heavy. As I recovered, I began to reflect on my life. I reached out to friends and family, sharing my experience and encouraging them to seek their own connection with God. I volunteered at local shelters, offering my time and love to those in need. I started a small prayer group, inviting others to join me in seeking the light and strength that comes from faith. And you know what? It was beautiful. I saw lives change, hearts open, and connections deepen. I felt the presence of Jesus with me every step of the way, guiding me, encouraging me, reminding me of the importance of love and compassion. There were challenges, of course. There were moments when I felt overwhelmed, when the dark forces tried to creep in, whispering doubts and fears. But I remembered his word. I remembered the warmth of his presence and the promise that I was never alone. I leaned into my faith, prayed, and surrounded myself with love. I also became more aware of the dark forces at play in the world. I saw how fear and division could easily take hold of people's hearts. I realized that the Antichrist spirit was not just a distant figure. It was present in the anger, hatred, and division that plagued our society. I felt a responsibility to stand against it, to be a voice of love and unity. I began to speak out against injustice, to advocate for those who felt voiceless. I shared my story in community gatherings, encouraging others to seek the light and to recognize the power of love in overcoming darkness. I found strength in my vulnerability, in sharing my struggles and triumph. As time went on, I felt a deepening connection with God. I spent more time in prayer and meditation, seeking guidance and wisdom. I learned to listen, to be still, and to trust in the path laid before me. I found joy in the little things: a smile from a stranger, a kind word from a friend, the beauty of nature around me. Each moment became a reminder of the love that surrounded us, a reflection of the third heaven that Jesus had described. Incredible to see how a simple act of kindness could spark a change in someone's life, how love could ripple outwards, touching hearts in ways I never imagined. One day, while volunteering at a local food bank, I met a young woman named Sarah. She was going through a tough time, struggling to make ends meet and feeling lost in the chaos of life. As we talked, I could see the weight of the world on her shoulders. I shared my story with her, the experience I had with Jesus, and how it transformed my life. Her eyes widened with curiosity and hope. "Do you really believe that we can connect with God like that?" she asked, her voice filled with wonder. "Yes," I replied, my heart swelling with conviction. "It's not just a story, it's a reality. God loves us deeply, and He wants us to experience that love fully. The journey to the third heaven starts in our hearts, with our willingness to seek Him and to love others." As I spoke, I could see a spark ignite within her. She began to open up about her struggles, her fears, and her dreams. We spent hours talking, laughing, and crying together. I encouraged her to pray, to seek that connection with God, and to trust in the journey ahead. Over the next few weeks, Sarah and I became close friends. We would meet regularly, sharing our thoughts and experiences, praying together, and supporting each other. I watched as she began to blossom, finding strength in her faith and a renewed sense of purpose. It was a beautiful reminder of the power of connection, of how we can lift each other up in times of need. As I continued to share my story, I found myself speaking at local churches and community events. I felt a calling to spread the message of love and hope, to remind others of the beauty of the third heaven and the importance of nurturing our relationship with God. Each time I spoke, I felt the presence of Jesus with me, guiding my words and filling my heart with passion. I often reflected on the dark forces that sought to pull us away from that light. I saw how fear and division could easily take hold of people's hearts, leading them down paths of anger and resentment. I felt a responsibility to stand against it, to be a voice of love and unity in a world that often felt divided. One evening, as I sat in prayer, I felt a strong urge to write down my experiences. I wanted to capture the essence of what I had learned, to share it with others in a way that could inspire and uplift. I began to write, pouring my heart onto the pages, recounting my journey, the lessons I had learned from Jesus, and the importance of love and connection. As the words flowed, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. It was as if I was being guided by a higher power, reminding me of the purpose behind my experiences. I wrote about the third heaven, the dark forces, and the importance of standing firm in our faith. I wanted to create something that could touch hearts and encourage others to seek their own connection with God. Months passed, and my writing took shape. I completed a manuscript that felt like a labor of love, a testament to the journey I had been on since that fateful day in the hospital. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as I prepared to share it with the world. When the day finally came to publish my book, I was filled with gratitude. I knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter in my life. I hoped that my words would resonate with others, that they would find hope and inspiration in my story. I envisioned people reading it and feeling a spark of connection with God, just as I had experienced. As I held the first copy in my hands, I couldn't help but reflect on how far I had come. I had gone from an ordinary life to one filled with purpose and passion. I had learned to embrace the light and to share it with others, to be a beacon of hope in a world that often felt. In the months that followed, I began to receive messages from readers who had been touched by my story. They shared their own experiences, their struggles, and their journeys of faith. It was incredible to see how the message of love and connection was resonating with so many people. I felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that I was making a difference in the lives of others. Through my writing and speaking engagements, I continued to emphasize the importance of community and connection. I organized workshops and gatherings where people could come together to share their stories, to pray, and to support one another. It was heartwarming to witness the bonds that formed, the friendships that blossomed, and the healing that took place within those spaces. One day, during a workshop, a man named David approached me. He looked troubled, and I could sense the weight of his struggle. As we talked, he shared how he had been battling depression and felt disconnected from God. I listened intently, my heart aching for him. I shared my own journey, the moments of doubt and fear I had faced, and how I had found solace in my faith. "Sometimes it feels like God is so far away," he admitted, his voice trembling. "I don't know how to reach him." I took a deep breath, remembering the words Jesus had shared with me. "David, God is always near. It's in the quiet moments, in the stillness of your heart, that you can find him. Try to be open, to seek him in the little things. It might be a kind word from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, or even a moment of laughter. He speaks to us in many ways." As I spoke, I could see a flicker of hope in his eyes. "I'll try," he said softly. "I really want to believe that." Over the next few weeks, David began to attend our gatherings regularly. I watched as he slowly opened up, sharing his thoughts and feelings with the group. He found comfort in the community, and I could see the light returning to his eyes. It was a beautiful reminder of the power of connection and the importance of supporting one another in our journey. As the seasons changed, I continued to reflect on my own growth. I had learned to embrace vulnerability, to share my struggles, and to celebrate the victories, no matter how small. I realized that life was a continuous journey of learning and growing, and that each experience, whether joyful or painful, contributed to the tapestry of our lives. One evening, as I sat in my garden, I felt a deep sense of gratitude wash over me. I looked up at the stars twinkling above, and I couldn't help but feel the presence of Jesus with me. I closed my eyes and whispered a prayer of thanks for the journey I had been on, for the lessons I had learned, and for the people I had met along the way. In that moment, I felt a profound sense of peace. I knew that the third heaven was not just a distant place. It was a state of being that we could experience here and now, through love, connection, and faith. I felt a renewed commitment to continue sharing that message, to be a light in the world, and to help others find their way back to the love of God. As I opened my eyes, I noticed a small butterfly fluttering nearby. It danced gracefully among the flowers, a symbol of transformation and hope. I smiled, feeling inspired by its beauty. Just like that butterfly, we all have the potential to rise above our struggles, to embrace the light, and to spread our wings. With each passing day, I continued to nurture my relationship with God, to seek His guidance, and to share His love with others. I found joy in the simple moments: a warm cup of tea, a hug from a friend, the laughter of children playing. I learned to appreciate the beauty of life, even in its imperfection. As I reflected on my journey, I realized that the near-death experience had been a gift, a catalyst for transformation. It had opened my eyes to the reality of the third heaven and the importance of living a life rooted in love and connection. I felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that I was called to be a vessel of that love in the world. And so, I continued to walk this path, sharing my story, encouraging others to seek their own connection with God, and reminding them of the power of love to overcome darkness. I knew that the journey was ongoing, and I was excited to see where it would lead me next. In the end, it was all about love, the love we give, the love we receive, and the love that connects us all. I felt blessed to be a part of this beautiful tapestry of life, and I was determined to keep shining my light, to keep spreading hope, and to keep sharing the message of the third heaven with everyone I met.